Today, I'm gonna fill this raised bed. And you know what? It's really easy, plus it's free. Check this out. Getting this much soil for free is absolutely amazing, and if all I gotta do is just kind of do the things I'm doing. Welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I'm Papa Pepper. I'm not sure what day I'll get this uploaded, but at the time, it was 80 some degrees yesterday. Today it's down in the 40s, so obviously quite a change. But I built this with my family, and what this is a large raised bed outside of our poultry area. If you look at the size of this thing, there's definitely a lot of cubic feet worth of growing medium that we're gonna have to put in there. To make matters worse, I also still have 5 of these along the perimeter of our poultry area that are not completely full. Some are barely started, but I've got an idea. You see, I've got a full trailer load of this free wood chip mulch from a neighboring town, and there's no way, I mean, unless like I absolutely had to, or unless it was some sort of like challenge where you could win prizes, there's no way I would try to grow directly in this. But what I do with this actually creates some soil, which is really interesting to think about. So out here in my main garden area, what we're doing is we're phasing through the land, we're kind of scraping it bare, using everything that comes off of it, and then using raised beds to grow in. This is a raised bed, this is a raised bed. This one's got some raspberries I can see poking through it. This one's got some comfrey. But in between my paths is where we've been laying those wood chips down. We've been mulching the paths heavily, and what that does is it just creates, we're not leaving the ground open. We're also not having grasses and different weeds growing that are gonna be casting seeds into here. It gives it a nice clean look. When these sprout up all green, it gives it a nice brown walkway in between them with the rocks, you know, as a border. But over time, those wood chips, I mean, this was like 3 or 4 inches at least of wood chips last year. Now look at that. There's still some wood chips in there, but that is a soil that you'd be hard pressed to find in the part of the world where I live, because most of the soil is just rock and clay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to scrape this out. I'm going to collect this, scrape it out, use that to fill my raised beds, and then lay down mulch to remulch this. So I've already made some talk in some of my previous videos about the distance that this garden is from the house. You may be thinking this is going to be quite a labor-intensive thing if every year or two I'm going to need to remulch this. Thankfully, the wood chips I'm using are free. Thankfully, it's a town I head to anyway, but you're absolutely correct. One thing that's gonna help me in doing what I need to do is gonna be that gorilla cart, but another thing that I've made mention of in previous videos is the fact that this may eventually just kind of turn back to a food forest. I may put in a vegetable garden as we age closer to the house, let this sit here with some amazing topsoil because of all the stuff that's been done to the land, maybe even remove these rocks and just kind of let it revert. Let things like these cherry trees or cherry bush just kind of start taking over. Let things like the walking onions just kind of spread out at the ground level. The goji berries, the figs, everything just kind of let it grow up. But at the time being, it's just a situation where I'm going to be building raised beds for a while. I'm going to need fill for them. I'm not going to be buying the fill. If I can do it for free on my own property, and all I need to do is while I'm working on everything else, waiting for this to happen because I don't got time to do it all at the same time, that works out perfectly for me. So I'm gonna go get that gorilla cart. I'm gonna fill it up with some of the stuff. We'll take a look at it, and then we'll start remulching this. If you saw our recent video about why we're gonna need a bigger mailbox, it's stuff like this showing up in the mail. We still don't know who bought us this gorilla cart, gifted it to us. We appreciate it, and it's already come in so handy on a project like this. Rather than moving around with 5-gallon buckets, it's really upped our game because I'm not bringing a skid steer in here or a front end loader or something with a big bucket. So my job was using this. Now that I've got this, it saves me a little bit of wear and tear on the muscles on the back, but also allows me to move more easily. And like I said, this stuff is going to be a great growing medium. I'm still going to space it out in the raised beds with a little bit of rotting logs and a little bit of leaves and stuff like that to kind of create a more rich environment than just this. But I'll be remulching this in a minute once I scrape it bare. But as you can see, this is going to be awesome, and that's quite a bit. If I do this a couple times to a couple areas, all those raised beds could be full in a relatively short amount of time, and I appreciate that. Impressed me about this gorilla cart too is how easy it is to maneuver. I think if there was anything I would change about it, I would just put in a locking brake system. I don't think it has that, but I also didn't read the directions or instructions. My wife and children told me not recommended for highway use and don't go over 5 miles an hour or carry passengers. That much I know, but that was all hearsay. Now, I'll be one of the first to admit it doesn't always work, but that doesn't mean I don't try. I try to make the most of my moves. Where I'm remulching and taking out the topsoil from over there in the garden to where I'm filling the raised beds over there is quite a distance, and kind of in between there is this trailer load of mulch. So as I remove enough of the old mulch, the now topsoil, and throw it over there, I'm going to be filling up this cart to bring back just to kind of work through it. Otherwise, I'm going to take a whole bunch of trips there and empty trips back, and then I'm going to take a whole bunch of trips here and empty trips here and then full trips back. So if I can kind of hit more with each move, it's going to be better for me. I try to never take an empty load, and if you actually counted how many steps I took in a day, it's probably absolutely insane, but I don't mind. I could probably be in a little bit better shape, and hopefully this summer, as we start working hard, we're gonna get back to that anyway. Just that easy, folks. Wow, that gorilla cart makes things work a lot better around here. That is cool. Once again, whoever that was, thank you. So just check out that transition. There we've got all the new stuff. There we've got our empty hole. There we've got all that's remaining. And that first bed is almost full. And that's like the perfect size for the job. Well, here's what that looks like remulched. Let's go see what the raised bed looks like. So right now, this raised bed is full. I am super excited. There's another one that's kind of close I'll probably work on next. For the scope of this video, I'll just show you that I filled this one, remulched that path, and kind of talk a little bit about how it's so easy when the way that I garden produces resources like this. I can't go pick this up for free anywhere I know of. Even the compost I get is not this good. But I can be making it on my own land just from the wood chips that I'm mulching the paths with. Over time, the worms work into there. This whole place is crawling with night crawlers sometimes. Wait a year or two, I think it's probably about 2, and all of a sudden I got this that I can be filling my raised beds with. This is a big raised bed. The other one over there is even bigger. To get this much soil for free is absolutely amazing, and if all I gotta do is just kind of do the things I'm doing, garden the way I'm gardening, mulch the way I'm mulching, and just kind of shift things around as time goes on, that really works for me. And I want you to think too, if that ever turns into a permaculture food forest and this is the soil that everything's growing in, that's going to be amazing. Moreover, that gorilla cart is absolutely a huge blessing. It's a perfect size. It gets a lot more stuff done, and it really helps out. And even though it's taking away from some of the physical labor I've got, it's still a lot of work to do what I'm doing. It's easy because if I wasn't doing any physical labor, I'd have to leave home to go, you know, work out at a gym or something like that. I don't have to worry about that. I can just do it right here. But yeah, absolutely love it. I'll see you guys next time. Papa out.